Hi, my name is Kari and I'm the product architect here at FieldSync. What I'd like to cover in this video is an example of how you can use FieldSync to do basic data collection within your organization. Now, one of the best use case examples that we have within our customer base is the ability to do inspections within FieldSync, which allows you to have control over the information that's being entered and also have that visibility to that data almost instantaneously through reporting. Now, with any type of organization in any industry, there's almost always some type of inspection form that is completed. Now, maybe an inspection form of your company vehicles or equipment or a job site. There are many different kinds of examples of inspections that are done. So what I'd like to do is show you just quickly how you can build an inspection form within FieldSync and quickly have it out to your users and start collecting that data. So I'm going to set up my inspection form as a log. Now keep in mind that within FieldSync you have the ability to change the labels and the nomenclature that is used throughout the application. You may want to call logs forms, and within forms you can build all of the different data collection forms that you want to collect. So let's go ahead and go into settings, and I'm going to select on my log tab, and you'll see here that I've already created an inspection form. So let me go into that. Now, as far as creating a new inspection form, you'll want to make sure that you have the appropriate access rights assigned. So I've selected supervisor, staff, manager, and mobile roles to have visibility. You may also want to set up email notifications. So let's say, for example, that I'm going to use this form to do an inspection of my company vehicles. So let's say that every time an inspection is completed on a vehicle, I want that information to go to several people within the organization. So that might be our quality assurance, it might be the individuals in charge of the vehicle insurance. So any of those email addresses can be entered here, and you can add as many as you'd like to send out just a notification that a new inspection form has been completed. Now I've left all the report settings as they are by default, but you do have the option to go in and add your own header image to the report and also change the title and the footer. So let's go down here and take a look at the configurable fields. Now this is really where you're going to be building what you would consider your form. So you can see here that I have 12 different fields laid out. First of all, I want to capture the date and time of the inspection, and I've chosen the date timestamp field type because I want it to be a true capture of the moment that they start the inspection. I can also select a region, and what I've done is created that as a drop-down list, and I've tied that to my value list called region, which lists all of the different regions that my company supports. Let's say I also want to capture not only the region, but the exact location of the inspection. So I can capture the latitude and longitude there using that type of control. And then I have a couple of fields related specific to a vehicle. So I have make and model, which are both tied to value lists with those appropriate names. And in my value list for make, I only have Dodge, Ford, and Chevrolet. So I can make that a radio button list because there's only 3 options. But my model value list has an extensive number of different models that fall underneath those 3 different makes. So I've made that a type ahead multiple type, so my users can start to enter in the model that they're looking at, and it will display only those that meet that criteria. If I want to be more specific and put the exact name of the model, and maybe it's not on my list, I can enter that here in just a basic text box. And then I need to start going through some of the inspection questions. So one example that I put here is there damage? And that is tied to a value list of yes or no, and I'm going to make that a checkbox. And then I can indicate that if there is damage, to please take a photo, and I've made that a photo field. And if yes, what is the severity? And I provide a scale of 1 to 9, which ties to a 1 to 9 value list. And I've made that a radio button so they can only choose one. Then at the bottom of almost every inspection form, you'll have some sort of comments. So I've added a comments field, which is just a text entry field. And then finally, I want a confirmation at the bottom of my form. So I'm going to use a text display type to simply display, I confirm that all information entered above is accurate. And then I'll have a signature type that will allow my user to sign off that the information that they've entered in the inspection is correct. Now for this example, I've only made two of the fields required. One is the date and time stamp, and one is the signature. You have the ability to decide which of the fields within your inspection form that you want to make sure that the data is captured on. And what that means is that your users will not be able to save the form until they've completed those required fields. So that is one way to make sure that you're getting all of the complete information, which will save some of those trips that you might have now where you have an inspector going out and coming back with an incomplete form. So I'm going to save this log, and then we'll go and take a look at it on the mobile application. Okay, so here we are with the mobile application. You can see that I have my iPhone here, and I'm going to go ahead and go into logs so that we can go in and enter data on this new inspection form. So I'll select new. And then as far as the client goes, I've gone into FieldSync and entered vehicles as a client. Now, depending on what your business is, you may have actual inspections that you're doing related to a specific actual customer, or you can do what I've done here, which will allow you to quickly look at all of the inspection forms and all of the data that are collected regarding vehicles. So I'll choose my vehicles customer, and then we want to choose the new inspection form that we just created. I'll leave the priority as low for now. As my title, I'll just put monthly inspection. And I don't have any notes yet because I'm still working through it. And then we'll come down here to the configurable fields. So here I can see the date and time of inspection. I did make it a required field, so you can see the red asterisk next to it. So when I choose the Set button, it populates that field with the exact date and time that I press the button. My region drop-down list shows all of the different regions that I support from my value list, so I'll choose Western. Here you can see the latitude and longitude for my location. So I click the button. That will capture the exact position of my phone when I capture that data. Now here's my radio list of the different makes that we support. So let's say within our fleet we carry these three different makes. So I will choose Chevrolet. Now for my model, I had indicated that this was a multi-select field. So when I type in the letter T, you'll see that I see several different options. I have Truck, Tahoe, and Trailblazer as an option. I'll choose Tahoe as my selection. And then name of model, I'll leave that one blank. And then here I can indicate, is there damage? Yes. I have the ability to take a photo. So I just took one of the floor, but we'll just use that. And that really gives them visibility into what the actual damage was. If yes, what is the severity? I'll indicate a severity level of 9. And then I can put any comments that supplement that information. Here you see our confirmation message that I confirm that all information entered above is accurate. And then I can sign the form. Now, since the severity level was 9, I'm going to come back up here and indicate that I think follow-up is needed. So that means that something is wrong with the vehicle and there needs to be follow-up, whether it's a repair or someone else needs to come out and look at it. And then I'm also going to change the priority level to high. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and save that. As soon as I save it, it indicates that notifications are required. Would you like to synchronize now? So I'm going to say OK. And now you can see how quickly I was able to go in and capture the exact information that I needed and get that information back to the office. So now if we come over here to our dashboard, you'll see an inspection form was completed, priority level of high, and that follow-up is needed. So I can go in immediately and take a look at this inspection form, look at all the data, there's my photo that I took, and level of damage and have all of that information so that I can immediately take action on that. So I could come up here and add a follow-up. And what that allows me to do is attach a different log to that inspection form. So I may have a separate form that is called vehicle repair. So I would be able to choose vehicle repair from this drop-down list, and I could go through and provide all of the data that's needed for that vehicle repair request form. So let's go ahead and take a look at our reports. Now when I come into my log report tab, I only have the one log that we just created showing up. But in a typical business scenario, this would show a long list of different reports that have been completed within the last week. Now let's say I wanted to filter the list to show only the vehicle inspection forms. Well, I could come up here and choose my client as vehicles. And let's say I want to go all the way back for the whole year. Then you can change the date range and select search. And you would see only the data for that client, which you have set up as vehicles. Furthermore, if I wanted to be able to export the exact data, then I could come in here and choose inspection form, search again, and now you can see that all of the configurable field data is displayed in the grid, including the region, the GPS coordinates, all the questions that I answered. And now I can go in and export that data into Excel. So I'll choose the export button and open up the Excel spreadsheet. And you can see now that I have all of the data in one row, and this makes it very easy to go through and create graphs and charts and have visibility into whether there's patterns related to certain vehicles or whether there's patterns related to different regions, and be able to have all of that data at just the click of a couple of buttons. So I hope that you can see that in this example that FieldSync can be used to track any kind of data, and that one of the biggest benefits is that it's very easy to do the simple day-to-day data collection that you most likely need to do within your organization. If you have any questions about specific inspection forms or data collection forms and need some guidance on how to get those set up, please don't hesitate to give us a call. Thank you.